Hey everybody, welcome to the March 27th, 2018 Kanye West News Roundup, presented by Watching the Throne, a lyrical analysis of Kanye West. My name is Chris Lambert, and if you've watched these videos before, you might notice some things are different. One, it's much better lit. I went and got this Logitech camera, so the quality is going to be better, it's going to look better. The angle is a little different, and that's because, as you notice, there's a screen here that has my screen. So somebody commented yesterday about OBS, which is something I had no idea existed because I'm still very new to all of this, so I appreciate the heads up. They had recommended that having the screen share might make the videos a bit more enjoyable. They said it in a very nice way, but yeah, staring at me for 5 to 20 minutes while I just talk about Kanye stuff isn't as good as actually being able to look at the Kanye related stuff with me. So thanks for the heads up, and I hope this new format works well. You get to see all the books that I have, you get to see the Yeezys, and the stairway. That's huge, right? Who doesn't want to see the stairway? So if you have any other recommendations about how to make this more enjoyable, aside from me shutting the fuck up, let me know, and I'll try and do what I can. So getting to the Kanye West news, there's nothing album related, no big this music is out, but yeah, it's a lot of fashion, a lot of just Kanye in general. Good stuff, interesting stuff. So the first one is this article from the Wall Street Journal by Jacob Gallagher, detailing, the title seems maybe a little bit more critical than what the article actually is. Why does Kanye West dress like a construction worker? And it traces Kanye's fashion development over time, the different looks that he's had. We all are pretty familiar with the different areas or eras of Kanye fashion, and then deep dives into the construction worker look that Kanye has had since 2014. So for people that really are interested in Kanye fashion talk, this is a great article for that and getting a little bit more insight into that. And, this is one of the looks that started it all off. This is from September 22nd, 2014, and is one of the first photos of Kanye wearing the Carhartt jacket, which is such a staple of the working man outfit. Next up, we have an article in GQ by Jake Wolf, who, still one day has to come and share his story. I'm gonna keep poking and prodding until he does. And this is talking about the Kanye West desert rat boots. The 500 sneakers are a pretty big deal, and this has been written about plenty because we have the different varieties of these shoes, but this is the first time that we've seen the boot. And as Jake points out, the boot is available right now from the Hervia website. I think I have to keep scrolling down. There. So if you click on that and go to Hervia, you can see the boots. They got that European price tag of £225, but you can see how they look. I think they have a pretty cool look, a pretty strange look at the same time. But still, a pretty cool Kanye look. There's an article on High Snobiety by Fabian Gorsler that's just talking about more the details of Virgil Abloh and Kanye interning at Fendi. And the Fendi internship is something that, I don't want to say it's a weird topic within Kanye fandom, but I think it's a less talked about topic. I mean, a lot of people know that Yeezus is a lot of response to him in the fashion world, but I don't know how many people know that it's a response to him actually being in Paris, interning at these fashion houses, working in the fashion industry, not just putting on his show, but a lot of the kind of low-level grunt work he was doing trying to get into the industry. And some of the details of that time, I think there is a very low percentage of Kanye fans that actually there's a very low percentage that know the details. There's a high percentage of people that don't know anything about that time. And, Travis and I have been doing this podcast for almost 3 years, and Kanye's Fendi internship is still an area that I don't think he and I know that much about. So I definitely appreciated Fabian's article here, going over a few more details of that time, taking context from different sources and putting it together. One of the things that kind of stood out to me is the fact that Michael Burke, who was the CEO of Fendi when they were interning there, is now the chief executive of Louis Vuitton, which makes sense then how Virgil got tapped to take over the creative director of menswear. So that connection really paid off. So those little things, it's good to see that Kanye did have, and Virgil had, allies at that time, even though it seems like it was such a mess that it led to the anger and frustration that we hear on Yeezus. So that's definitely a good one. This is just more of a reminder to myself to talk about something I had mentioned last week about the Chinese company that was trying to copyright Yeezy Boost, and how it was this, not a big deal, but kind of a legal battle and the ramifications of that legal battle. And this is why Kanye didn't necessarily want to do things on his own, because you open yourself up to lawsuits like this that you're going to have to battle and fight and pay for. And after I had posted that video, Team Kanye Daily shared a link from a webpage that's dedicated to fashion law. And they talked about how every outlet reporting the copyright battle between Kanye and this Chinese company, they were all wrong, because they were basing it off of a flawed understanding of copyright. And the article is very detailed about how copyright law works, why Kanye already has the copyright, why this is a thing in China, it's not a thing in the United States. So their conclusion was that it was kind of irresponsible reporting, that places hadn't taken the time to actually do any research, which, I'm guilty of that as well. But, we're more of a news aggregate, right? Yeah. But I thought it was interesting that this article by Nick Mojica for XXL came out after Team Kanye Daily shared that post by 4 or 5 days, and there's nothing in here about that. It's just using more of the old information that everybody else was wrong about before. So you'd hope that following that report that the conversation about this topic would improve, or at least be more responsible, but it seems XXL Mag was a little late to the party and didn't have the most up-to-date information. And speaking about being late to the party, not that I like to give the Mirror clicks, because fuck the Mirror, but they're just now reporting that Kanye has blonde and pink hair. Like, it's something that just happened last night, and they're reporting it fresh. They're, a week and a half behind on that? So strange. 2 weeks behind on that? And they're just reporting it like it's a new event? But that's why they're the Mirror, right? And then some Kanye posts that just were cracking me up. This one, I love the Genius Wallpaper Maker by _Savage. I think a lot of people have seen this image from Kanye in the studio standing on the center console, just kind of rocking out. And I forget who was telling the story, but it was something like Kanye was playing a song from Life of Pablo, like Freestyle 4 or Highlights or something, and had the volume all the way up, like 150 decibels. And they're just like, holy shit, we need to turn this down or we're going to lose our hearing. But Kanye was so pumped that he was standing on the console doing that. So somebody taking that and turning it into Silver Surfer Intermission, just the height of beauty. The height of beauty. This is actually a very interesting post, and maybe should have kicked things off. But I Called Porzingis talks about the fact that there's a video that shows Kanye talking with P. Diddy. and they're talking about All Day and Southside Serenade, and Diddy doesn't really support Southside Serenade, and it's just kind of an interesting look into a time frame of Kanye's music making that we were all excited about and then never saw the result of. Like, he went from the "So Help Me God" sound to redoing everything and iterating into the life of Pablo. But there's still this unheard album that was the rough draft of Pablo. So it's fascinating that I think that it seemed like he was close to being done with something, but you wonder if moments like this where he's playing it to Diddy and Diddy's kind of like, nah, I'm not feeling that, is kind of the reason why the album took a little bit longer to come out and why Kanye went back and revamped so many of the songs. And I do like too that, you know, this talks about All Day and Southside Serenade, and I think it was a tweet I posted the other day saying that there seemed to be a lot of similarities, not superficial similarities, but just kind of like there's something resonant about the end of All Day and Southside Serenade. Almost like the outro of All Day could have somehow led into Southside Serenade. So the fact that he was playing them kind of near each other for Diddy kind of makes me happy that I was able to be like, oh, is there a connection? Is there a connection? Because it seems like there was actually an intentional connection. And then the video of them talking is going to be in the information section underneath this. And then what else do we got? We have just 3 more things. Kanye Commandments from the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy studio days. Daniel D. Vargas _ shared these, and they're not new. We've known about them for a while, but I think it's something that just, you know, a lot of people haven't seen or forgot about. So I thought it would be cool to just kind of include those and get a look at those. Like, no tweeting, no hipster hats, all laptops on mute, just shut the fuck up sometimes. No tweeting, please. Thank you. That's twice for the no tweeting. No blogging, no negative blog viewing. Don't tell anyone anything about anything we are doing. No racking focus while music is being played or music is being made. No acoustic guitar in the studio. Total focus on this project in all studios. No pictures. So those are some of the rules, and you know, there's a question I got asked in this interview that we're doing for Miranda Fenneberger, who is our latest story. She has a magazine, and she interviewed Travis and I, and it asked if we could view one person's work process or daily habits and routines, who would it be? And of course, I answered as the cat runs by, I answered Kanye. And I don't know if I'll ever get to see Kanye working and what that process looks like on a minute-by-minute basis, an hour-by-hour basis, a day-by-day basis. But just even getting to see this, right, and get an idea of what the rules are that he has for himself and the people he's working with, just is motivational, I think, in the fact that this is some dedication. You're not tweeting. You're dressing in a way that's important. You're not getting negative with blog viewing. You're not losing focus. Like, what you get here is a idea that your attire matters, which I'm wearing a free fucking Google Fiber shirt right now. So maybe I got to get fresher for these, right? Like, you can't be distracted by things. You're not dicking around. You're not letting people know what's going on. It's focus, diligence. Like, secrecy is not important, I don't think. But I think not talking about what's going on and no pictures gets back to the idea of focus. You're focused on doing the work, not talking about the work to other people, not bragging about the work. You're doing the fucking work. So I like that. I think that might become my new background on the desktop. just yesterday, chart data tweeted out that Kanye West, The Life of Pablo, has now spent 100 weeks on the Billboard 200. And of course, you get a bunch of Taylor Swift fans coming in and shitting on Kanye. But to be fair, and I like to be fair, if it was a Taylor Swift has spent 100 weeks on the Billboard 200, there's probably going to be a bunch of Kanye fans going in and like saying Snake or talking about Kanye. So it's tit for tat. But I appreciate Greg Nuttall there defending Kanye. He was in the thick of it. And that does it for the Kanye news for Wednesday, March 27th. If you want to support us with some money, Patreon's the way to go. We're getting close to our first goal of $300 per month, which will allow us to consistently make shirts and other items, actually paying artists to help us make shirts, because Travis and I do not have that artistic ability. I can barely get a camera in that. I can write. If you let us write, we could write the best things. In fact, we're writing a book on Jesus right now, June 18th, 2018. This is a way to support us. You can follow us on Twitter at Kanye Podcast. And if you want to listen to the podcast, iTunes, we're on iTunes. All over iTunes. You can see that right here. Our latest story just came out today, Miranda Fenneberger. And Coldest Winter is our latest song analysis. And this Friday, we're going to be recording our Lost in the World and Who Will Survive in America episode, and that will come out on Tuesday. And we'll conclude our look at My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So if you want to go back through our old My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy tracks, they're all there. And if you have any questions relating to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy or Lost in the World, we will be on Twitter to discuss, or you can leave comments here and I'll gladly talk about it on here. I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope this new format works well. Again, if you have any feedback, it's not just personal attacks. Would love to hear it. There's Felix wandering around, and until the next time.